Okay, I think I am live. I want to believe so, but there's something here that is showing that something went wrong. Hmm. I think I am live. I believe, yeah, I can see myself. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this. My name is Bokon Imokwede, and I am part of the facilitators training, facilitators in training for the Start Your Marriage Right Academy. And this evening, I have been tasked with something simple to do, a topic that is about preparing for marriage. So, the topic I would be, talking about this evening is your partner ready for marriage? So what are the key things you need to look out for? Key traits to look out for. Is your partner ready for marriage? And what are the key things you need to look out for? So in terms of this topic, um, when I was given this topic, one of the things that came to mind was that how do you know if your partner is actually ready for marriage? Is it enough for you to say that we love one another? Is love enough? Or do I want to say it's the feeling that you're having? Is it sufficient? Is it enough for you to say, you know what, I've been doing it? Or is it the length of time? How many years you've been dating? Is that what will let you know that, you're both ready for marriage? Or is it when the family pressures are coming in? When do you actually know that you and your partner are ready? So I want us to look at some of the traits that would help you to know. What are some of the core things that will help you know that, you know what, we're kind of ready. Yes. And of course, apart from the fact that you've, yes, so those are some key things to look out for to say, you know what, I think we're ready. We're ready for this. Yeah. So um, I want to share I want to start off with a story of two separate couples. Um, who one succeeded and one struggled in marriage based on how prepared or how ready they are. Um, so, two stories. Let's just follow me as I go. Now, the first one is a story of, let's say, I'm trying to give names that are, I just want to give fictitious names. I'm just going to give the name. So, let's talk about, let's say, Ada and Chinedu. Sorry if anyone listening feels like, if there's any other listening or there's a Chinedu listening and you feel that, why do you have to use my name? You don't even know what's going to happen. Maybe these ones are the ones that succeeded. So let's go. But just follow me on this journey. So Ada and Chinedu are this lovely young couple who have been dating, and they believe that, they're deeply in love. But before their marriage, Ada had a dream that, oh, you know what, I'm going to go for a master's degree once I finish. I'm going to go for a master's degree abroad once I finish my my BSc and all that. She wanted to, go abroad. But on the other hand, Chinedu's dreams was that he had envisioned that it's just gonna start a family immediately after wedding. Once we're married, we're just going to start our own family, try and see if the kids will come, and we'll just start off on that note. But what happened was that these two people never really discussed their long-term goals or plans. They just assume that, oh, because we're in love, things were going well, or we love each other, that we're in that state where everything just feels like the chemistry is high. They just got carried away by that. Possibly maybe the planning of the wedding, and you know how these things can overshadow us having deep conversations that we should be having before we get married. But they just assume, there's just an assumption that, it's not, we've been dating, we're friends, we've talked about some things, but they never really said, you know what, let's sit down and discuss it. What are your plans? What do you, long term goals? What do you think we should be doing? Or, they didn't get to discuss it. They just thought, you know, things will just work. Like most people wake up and think marriage is just going to automatically, because the two of you love each other, you've come together. But love is love enough. Loving each other, is that enough? That's what we're getting to. And actually, that's the whole essence of the Start Your Marriage Right Academy. And of course, the program, which I will be talking about at some point, which I am training to be one of the facilitators. So, like I said, they just thought, they assumed, because that's the loss of assumption, that things will work naturally. Guess what? A year into marriage, conflict started. It started subtly. And then when Ada got, the almighty, um, what's it called? The almighty plan came into place. And guess what? So she got the master's degree that she's been trying to get. And it even came with a scholarship to study in Canada. Then Chinedu felt, oh my goodness, this is betrayal, insisting that the primary focus for Ada should have been building a home or a family. Ada, on the other hand, felt that, what, hey, Chinedu is not supportive. He is not supporting me in trying to achieve my dreams. And guess what? The two of them struggled. It was a big struggle, and they couldn't reconcile that conflict that you must have, others must have felt that maybe started subtly. They couldn't reconcile it. Those differences could not be. And eventually, that strain led to a separation. You might look at it and say, is that possible? It is very possible, because assumptions, especially when it comes to long term goals, has a big impact on families. So, when you're preparing for marriage, a shared vision, as well as honest conversations about your plans for the future, is essential, so that you don't assume things and then expectations are not aligned. That is couple one. Now, couple two. Let's assume Tunde and Aisha. This one's dated for about 3 years, and it just seemed like a perfect match. However, Tunde had some issues of trust when it comes to some of his past relationships, and of course he also had some skeletons in his cupboard. He had some hidden secret which he had kept away from Aisha. Aisha started noticing this suspicious behavior of, sometimes it's an outburst, and when she recognized the pattern, she was able to ask, are you sure that there's not something that you've not dealt with that seems to be, showing up every time? But he was like, no, I don't think so. He dismissed it, and, it just felt they're not really important. But guess what? After marriage, Tunde's insecurities, or, the issues, the unresolved issues, became worse. And he was always asking Aisha about, do you still love me? A loyalty. Are you sure you still love me? Free. And then, they had quite a number of frequent arguments and emotional strain. But eventually, Tunde realized that his issues were causing harm, and he sought for help. Yeah, he looked for help. But with time and effort, they were able to kind of rebuild their trust. And but the first few years, the first few months, there were, on some unnecessary turbulence. But at least one thing you want to appreciate with Tunde and Aisha's situation is that, they had noticed it, that maybe this thing is showing up. And they talked about it, but he dismissed it, thinking that, no. But at least both of them were open about their personal issues. They discussed it. They knew, some things that happened to them in the past, that, some past hurts and all that. They talked about it. They both knew. And that's why Aisha knew when things were showing up, then, are you sure this is not coming from an unresolved issue that needs to be addressed? So, but what can you learn from these two couples? I'm sure you'll be able to take your lessons from it to say that, it's really important that we discuss quite a number of things and not just rely on love, thinking that, oh, once we say we love each other, that's all that we need to get things going. So, again, I'm asking the question, is your partner ready for marriage? Is love alone sufficient? I've given you two stories, which I'm sure you can make your judgment on. I would like to talk about the 5 core areas that you need to watch out for. 5 key areas. And I just want you to follow me as I go. 5 areas. There are definitely a lot, but for me, I would say that these 5 areas are very key, and it also aligns with the way that at the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, we tend to structure the work that we do with intending couples, or even couples who are married but do need support. Now, the first thing is your personal wholeness or personal harmony comes before the mutual harmony that both of you are coming together to achieve. You're thinking and saying, what do we mean by that? So at the Institute, we approach the Preparing for Bliss project using 3 core pillars. The Preparing for Bliss project is the premarital counseling or coaching that we offer to people who are planning to marry, who are about to get married. We approach it using 3 core pillars, and those pillars are the flourishing you as an individual, as an wholesome you. When you're flourishing, when you're whole, that's when you can now have the second pillar, which is the flourishing us, because it is when two flourishing people come together and makes a flourishing us. And then the third one is called the flourishing systems. So my first point, or the first trait to look out for, is that wholesomeness of your partner. By wholesomeness, I mean that is your partner in tune with who they really are. Every human being is a product of our upbringing, our environment, and our experiences. So when you're meeting someone, you know that you're meeting a human being that has all these things I've said: upbringing, past experience, environment, and your experience is totally going to be different from your spouse's. So, how aware is your partner? How aware is that person that you want to get married to? Do they know their strengths? Do they know their weaknesses? Do they know their personal shortcomings? Do they know themselves? And even if they know that, have they confronted someone? Have they dealt with it? Or are they people who are hurting, who have not healed, who have not forgiven? So, how whole is this person that is coming to you, that is your partner? Wholesomeness for me, so, has to do with, there are usually there are few domains of life that people look at, but for me, I always look at six core areas of life that any human being that you know doesn't feel that sense of well, not necessarily fulfillment in all those areas, but at least you must be able to understand those domains of life and pay attention. That's the word I'm looking for. You must be able to look at those domains and be able to pay attention to them. And those domains of life are your physical health, your mental well-being or health, family and relationships, career and work, or maybe education. All those ones are together. You have spiritual wellness, and you have wealth creation. See, if you think of any human being, think about it yourself, you realize that when it seems like one of those areas you're not paying attention to it, it's like there's something not complete with you. Think about spiritual, physical. That's our body. We have one body to last us a whole lifetime. So that's what carries us. Spiritual, there's just something about the God factor. Some people will say supreme being. Some people will say, the higher powers or whatever it is that you believe in. But you were not here by mistake. You're not on earth by yourself. Someone created you. So there's a supreme being. We were first spirit beings. That's one. There's just some, if you don't have that, you don't pay attention to it, there's that dissatisfaction. So if you look at so your partner, are they even aware of those kind of things, or are they just sometimes in those days when I was dating, there were a lot of people who all they knew was prayers. And guess what? Even that prayers or just being religious is not necessarily spirituality, because spirituality is deeper than that. So sometimes people just see one area and they focus on it, or is the person you're dating, all they know is career oriented, and any other thing in their way, they don't care, they don't. You have to think about the relationship, either their relationship with their families or people who are closest to them. How is this person treating their own current immediate family? Those are things that you want to look at and consider. That how wholesome is this person? Do they know themselves? How flourishing is the person that I'm dating? How flourishing is my partner? It's really important, because if this partner of yours is not whole, how do we now move to pillar two that talks about the flourishing us? If one wholesome individual is coming and the other person is broken, you can't have wholesome us or flourishing us. One person would be broken, so you now have to deal with it. Yeah? So it's really important that beyond all the, I love you, this is how I feel when I'm around you. I just want to just stay and talk to you 25 we cannot do without talking to you, and all that happens. You want to make sure that you are checking the key things to watch out for. This person's past experiences, how are they showing up? Do they have trauma? Just like the story of Tunde and Aisha. But Aisha had noticed that Tunde had some issues that feels like is not dealt with and is showing up. Or are you like Ada and Chinedu, that you didn't even check that apparently Ada was so career driven that our long term goal was to do a master's and everything. So you want to first understand how aware is this person that I am dating? How wholesome are they? How flourishing are they then? So, or do they have plenty issues that we first need to deal with? Because if they do, it's better what? To first deal with those, be open, be honest, to be able to first deal with those issues before proceeding. That's the truth. Love alone is not sufficient. As we go on, you would see why I'm saying love alone is not sufficient, because love itself would get it will have to go through a test. Life itself will test that love, and that's why you have to look beyond love. Life will test love. It will test you. That's why you have to be very prepared. The second thing to look out for, again, you probably tie into the first one, are shared values and beliefs. Very important. In the institute, in the academy, as part of the things that we do, is a beliefs compatibility test that is usually carried out, that we advise, intending couples to do. And some questions in that test are as simple as, what is your definition of a man? What is your definition of a woman? Whose duty is it to cook? And things like that. Now you might look at it and say, what kind of question is that? There's no right or wrong in these questions if both of you believe the same thing or you think alike. A problem happens when both of you don't believe in the same thing and you're not compatible. I am a Christian and I believe in the Bible that says, don't be equally yoked with an unbeliever. Someone who doesn't believe the same thing as you is not the person you want to be yoked with. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. If you know that the things that you believe in, your values, or just general simple beliefs, you can see that those things that are core for you, your core beliefs, they don't align. That's something to watch out for, because marriage is a long-term game. So it's important that your core values and your core values and core beliefs align. It's really important, because if one person believes that it's only the woman that should cook, and the other party is thinking, oh, actually, there are days that the husband should be able to help out. Speak about it, talk about it, and see whether the other party, who does one of the parties, can shift their beliefs, or say, no, well, it's not a deal breaker, it's okay, I can still. What are your beliefs about marriage? What are your beliefs about family? What are your beliefs about religion? What are your beliefs about finances? What are your beliefs about lifestyle choices? What are the things that that, what, that belief I can never, or that value I can't compromise on it? You need to start talking about it. You need to discuss it, to know that, there are some things these are things I call core beliefs. We're not saying that all your values will necessarily be the same, because you're different human beings. But the things that are core, that you believe, that your core beliefs or core values must not conflict in a way that it becomes an issue. Yeah, especially in the long term. So, an example, if for instance, one partner believes that, you know, financial stability is key for us. So that partner believes that, oh, we must do a lot of savings, we must have this amount of money, both of us must work and bring something to the table financially. And, But on the other hand, the other person is ready to risk all your savings and everything. It's important that you watch out for those kind of things and discuss them. What are your beliefs about finances? What is this? What do you think, when it comes to, you know, family? How should we set it up? What do you believe in? Discuss those things. And the good thing is, at the academy, there are tools. There are so there are tools, and there are a number of things that you'll be given that would help you to look out for these things even before. It would help as part of your preparing for marriage. There are tools that you'll be given that can help you check for these things, that would help you with conversations, and you can know where each other stands. So at least you know those things that you can't compromise on. You know those things are your deal breakers, and you can start to talk about them early enough. So before I got married, I remember that I used to think that, you know what, when it comes to uh, when it comes to businesses, you can do business. I'm not saying don't do it, but then it takes, you still. I'm more of financial stability. Let's make sure that we have some money in case it doesn't go well. At least we had this amount of money before we dabble into it. But guess what? My then partner, before he became my husband, serious risk taker. And I think as well, risk taking comes with age. When you're younger, you tend to take any risk. But the older you get, and as you start to have kids and everything, you still take risk. I know people do, but it's just that you probably take more calculated and reasonable risk. Unlike when you're younger and you're like, it doesn't matter, even if you don't save today. And I remember that initially got to me, and I thought, my God, what have I gotten myself into? Because I like to work off a plan, something that I like to understand how we're getting from A to B, not just that, wake up and then just start to risk everything. But over time, I realized but it wasn't like a deal breaker for me. It was something that I had to learn or time, but that wasn't something that I discussed. I didn't even know that, you could discuss it, things like that. Okay, I didn't even know. I just thought that, but I should have seen some signs. Some signs, like I remember when we were dating, and my husband would go to the restaurants that we had in universities those days, and he would just pay for maybe about 6 months. And I'll just stroll in and be eating free food. I was eating free food. I didn't know that the eating of free food was just coming back to bite me. There's somebody who pays just like that without even thinking. If I just pay, I don't know how much it was then, but I was just going and eating free food. So, but some of those things were signs I didn't even consider. I didn't even think about it that it was going to come back. I just thought, I'm eating free food anyway. It was there and all that. So there's some things. It's good. You watch it. There might be some signs that you're seeing and you're not, like, you're seeing them, but you don't know that. So there are certain signs that indeed we need to actually work out. But I don't want to lose the message. It is your shared values and beliefs. How compatible are they? Okay. Now, the next one, which is my third trait or tips to watch out for, is communication and friendship. Communication, they would say, is a lifeline of any successful marriage. But guess what? Friendship is what comes in to strengthen the bond beyond romance. when people say marry your friend, there's been a lot of conversations out there, especially now. Marry your friend, marry your friend. People say, some people will just ignore it. I am a testament to that. That traits, one of the traits you watch out for is how well both of you communicate. How deep, how open, how honest are you? Communication is the is also the foundation for friendship. That's what helps friendship to grow. That's what helps it to strengthen the bond of that's it. Because and that's why they say people who are doing distance relationship, you find out that because once communication is broken down, even between friends, look at it that way. Just let's not even talk about romantic relationships. Talk about just ordinary friends. You have a friend. Friendship, something a common goal is what brings both of you together. Maybe let's say you had that friend when you were in university, and of course you were living maybe even in the same room, or at least on the same campus, not far from there. You were in the same course, you go to the same church. Those things, that shared purpose, that shared vision, that shared was what brought you together. And you would sustain it as long as both of you were still had that shared um purpose. So if as long as you're still in the same school, you still have that, you still live to one another, close to one another. So I'm going to school, call your friend, you both call each other, and then that's it. But imagine that even within those two friends, there's a breakdown in communication. The two of you are no longer talking as much as you do, and blah blah blah. That's the end of that relationship, whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not. That's the end. So you're watching and saying to yourself, communication and friendship, how open, how honest, how respectful is this person when we are having discussion? Is the person hiding some things from you? Are they lying about a lot of things? And you can see it because they say one thing, you see the other. They say one thing to you or behave the other. And you're seeing how they even communicate with others. Maybe one because of all the, oh, I love you that they see near you. They come and they sound nice and respectful. But with every other person, oh my goodness, not a single tone of respect. And you're watching, you can see. Do you enjoy each other's company outside of, the romantic settings? Can you just do things that friends do outside of the feelings that you have? Just say, come on, why are you doing this now? Be where you can have proper conversations. You're truly, truly friends. You just enjoy each other's company. You just like being near each other, not unnecessarily until you have that romantic feel. Is that an experience that you have? Because that is what will strengthen your bond beyond romance. Take it from me. I met my husband when I was 17. Since university, and we've been friends even before so we were friends. So, and that's one advice I always give younger people. I always tell my daughter, I say, have as many friends of the opposite. Let them be. Relate with people on friendship zone. Just know them without the that feeling. Know them play on the plain level field where you can see how they are doing and behaving and misbehaving, so that you can tell. And in being friends, guess what? Because they don't have anything to pretend. There's a lot of openness you can quickly catch. Why is this person doing this? You can see. One of the reasons why I decided to marry my husband because of his sacrificial lifestyle. It was very benevolent. It was so sad. I could see that this person can give up a lot of things or give up things and give up even people just for that friendship. Whereas, there are other people that you can see, you can see from how they're behaving that this one. So communication and friendship is very important. There are things to watch out for. How well do you communicate? How open, how honest, how genuine are both of you? How authentic are you? Because nowadays it even makes me, what even makes me laugh is, and this is not in any way, when people say what you see is not what you get, people cover so much up. Apart from the physical makeup one, I will now do a lot of covering because sometimes you see someone, you meet someone, and you're like, sometimes I tell my boys, I'm like, it's dangerous to meet somebody outside that you don't know, because let's say you meet someone maybe at the party and the person has, especially for us ladies with the makeup and everything, with those hairstyles now, and the person is, and then you get to, hey, it's better you see them both with that covering as well as uncovered, because you might not like what you're getting. Especially when you go on Instagram now, it makes me laugh. You see before meets after. Some afters, it's not anywhere near the reflection of the person you're picking up. So it's really important that, you know, we know people genuinely. You see their vulnerable side. You see how real they are. Plain level field. You talk when the person has done something wrong, when there's conflict. How do you communicate? How do you talk about it? Or do you just sweep it under the carpet? You know what? Because I love you. Let's just forget it. No, I know they might. When people are in love, they probably are not listening because their eyes, their brain, everywhere is covered. So, bon, these are some tricks you want to look out for. How close are you? How well do you both communicate? Couples who don't nurture friendship, even if I'm not saying friendship is based on maybe the number of years that you've known each other. No, you can nurture friendship even within a short time. But what I'm saying is, outside of romance, let there be friendship and talk, communicate, be open, be genuine, be honest. Because couples who do nurture friendship, they often struggle once the honeymoon phase fades away. That's the truth. Because the honeymoon phase is when everybody's still, their best. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm married. I'm now Mrs. And the man is saying, oh, I now have a wife to myself and everything. And just like with everything else in life, is like the law of what's it called? You know that law about what's that law? When you have a bottle, when you're testing and you have a bottle of Coke. The same thing like that in life. When you're thirsty, the first bottle will feel like test quencher. The next bottle, no. Oh, I'm surprised I can't remember that law. It's a law in economics. Yeah, okay. But anyway, I'm sure you know. So, is it a law of diminishing returns or what? No, can't remember. Let me not say what I don't know. If for economics who are listening to me, tell me that law if you know it. Put it in the chat. I'll come and pick it up. I'll look it up another time. Um, and then the third bottle, yeah, Tessie, hot sunny day, third bottle, no matter how chilled it is, third bottle, especially when it's Coke or fizzy. I'm sure by that third bottle, you're already breathing and doing like, you're gasping for air. Fourth bottle, it's like that. When you get to the field, you're like, people want to kill me. The same way it is. It's like when you buy a new toy or a new thing, a new shoe, a new bag, a new dress, it's shocking you. It's the same thing. When that phase fades away, when that phase goes, what will keep the honeymoon phase, when it goes away, what would sustain or keep your marriage is friendship. So make sure is the foundation, is the basis. You've built it, you've developed it, you're growing, and it's not just something that comes out. It will. evolve over time. Your friendship will keep getting better. So if you have one level of friendship today, as you get married, it will be another layer, another level. You'll be seeing deeper things. Even before, sometimes it gets to the point that before your partner talks, you know what they're going to say. Before they suggest, like, oh, I know the next thing, oh, you've heard something like now. Sometimes myself and my husband we talk about, we say we now have recycled gist. We're always recycling gist. What's happening? But this is part of it. It's okay. You have to recycle it. It's because of friendship. Friendship of how many years? Since I was 17. Friendship of years. Sometimes just looking, I'm like, this one, people have known you forever, like all my life and everything. But it's important. And I'm not just talking about the length, it's the quality of friendship. So it's not about the length of time. I'm talking about quality. Another trait to look out for, which is my number 4, is compatibility in vision and your legacy, your long-term goals. Remember the story I started off with about Ada and Chinedu, where I talked about they did not talk about long-term goals. They didn't see it coming. They didn't talk about it. They assumed they knew each other. Because questions we want to be asking is, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? What do you see? Just asking that simple question could have probably answered the question or the issue that they both now had when they realized that Ada, after getting married, wanted to go for masters. Meanwhile, Chinedu wanted a family, to build a family, to start having kids. What are your long-term goals? Where do you see yourself? What's the leg? If we're coming together, what is our family? What is our home going to be? What do you see as that? What's the vision you have for that family as well? What's your own personal goal? What's your own? Because it might be that Chinedu might be thinking, once that finishes, I'll just open a shop for her. Meanwhile, Ada wants to go for masters, so they didn't get a chance. So you must talk about it. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see us? Where do you see this family? What do you see for our kids? Discuss them, your life goals, your dreams, your aspirations. They will strengthen your commitment because it would help you know how to plan, how to incorporate each other's plans into to say, oh, you know what? Ada wants to go for masters, blah, blah, blah. Is it that in Canada? Is it that once we get married, do we start to think of, is it physical school she wants? So it would help you plan. It's not just the actual B and everything that people should plan for. Long-term goals, the ones that are really crucial. A lot of times people don't talk about it. They are busy chasing the things that are not sustainable. Those things I'm sharing with you are the foundation of any relationship. They're the pillars, and the pillars that you don't see are the things that actually hold the home. The ones that you are seeing, who is going to cook, the kind of food, those ones, they're the decorations of the house. Like if you think about a marriage as a house, they are the decorations that decorations can't hold a house. When the storms actually come, the storms of life, when they come to shake and see how the foundation of this home is, those things, they can't sustain. They are nowhere. Before you even shake, once the foundation is not there, once it's not built, once it's not deep inside, you can't get anything. Okay? So discuss your vision for the future. Talk about it. Where do you see yourself 5, 10, 20 years from now? I even like at the institute, one thing that we do, it'll talk about, by the time you're doing your first what's it called, your first year anniversary, write a letter. What do you see? And that those kind of things, just every year you tend to write it just helps you look forward. It helps you to enjoy the moment and just say, you know what, I'm even looking forward to better days, better years. But when you don't talk about it, when you don't discuss them, there lies a problem. And as well as, just discussing them, how compatible are those goals, are those visions, the career ambitions, the legacy that you want to build together? How compatible, or are they like divergent, worlds apart? Where Ada is a master's, after master's, she wants to become a doctor, after doctorate, she wants to become professor, and all those kind of things. But Chinedu is down there just saying, once I have a family, I'm okay with the job I'm doing. I don't even want to get promoted, or even if they promote me, maybe by chance, she's not even putting any effort and all that. And, their walls apart. Is that how they are? Or do they align? Do they um are they infused into you? Do you see yourselves in each other's long-term goals? Okay, if Chinedu is saying, you know what, in the next so many years I'll see myself moving from maybe a junior executive to senior executive, then marketing manager, a director, blah blah blah. And then Ada is also seeing herself in there that, whilst you're doing that as well, maybe you're working in the financial services, I'm working in IT. They're both growing and like, okay, and our kids will, raise them this way, we'll send them to this kind of schools. It aligns. Unlike when the other person. And then what are some of your family goals? What do you see? Somebody says, you know what, I want to have 5 children. The other one says, I only want one. But someone says, you know what, I don't even want us to have kids for the first 5 years. I just want us to spend some time together. It happens. I look at it and say, is that possible? It does happen. People have varying long-term goals and all those. So I know that at that point where you're dating, where you're in a relationship, sometimes those things don't occur to you because at that moment, all that you're thinking about might be the short-term things, immediate things that you can see or you envision. You're not thinking far, thinking deep, but you see beyond your immediate goals. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because as part of this long-term one, so for instance, a partner who values career success, just like I described Ada before, you'll be surprised that conflict might arise if you now have one who says, you know what, I can't be bothered though. I just want simple life. I don't want anything. If you don't address it early. And that's why nowadays you see couples saying that the wife is driven, the wife wants to achieve so much, she's even earning so much. But you see the man is like, please, I beg go. People cannot come and kill me. Because again, you know, their values, their personality type, everything is coming into play. But because you've not even paid attention to even look out or even understand anything, there lies a problem. A big one. It might start as something small. But honestly, if these things are not addressed carefully, it can become a big issue. Some people don't believe in a woman pursuing any career goals for herself or professional goals alongside marriage, outside the marriage. Just see that, you know what, you must, once you get pregnant, you are not working again. You must, now, not to now say you want to do masters or, it can lead to conflict. And those conflicts, that's when you have people say unreconcilable differences because you've not looked at this, you've not talked about it, and they can come back to become things that people now say unreconcilable differences because they don't they start to pile up because you now be from one layer to another to another. So it's really important for someone listening to me who's about to get married. Have you ever discussed your long-term vision? Have you asked each other and have you seen how it aligns with where you're going? What are some of the expectations and your own roles? Have you asked your partner, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, 15, 20, or even in the next 1 year? What do you see, happening? And if people don't have it, at least try and get it up. Because honestly, why I'm saying this is that, when you're preparing for, when you're dating and everything, and because most time, maybe because those times where one is even young, it's like a part of your brain is not fully developed yet to even think about those things because what you're looking at or what you're thinking about is totally different from, you know, what you should be discussing. So if there's anything you're going to take from it, even if you don't You've not discussed it. Let me give you a simple tip, a very practical one. Get a cardboard, almost like a vision board. People do vision board, vision parties, and all those kind of things now. And you draw it or write it down. Just let's say, you know what, this is me, this is you. Let's even just talk about it. Where do you see yourself? What do you see happening when it comes to, family, when it comes to your career? I talked about 6 domains of life at the beginning. You can start with that. It would help. The six I talked about your health. Yeah, physical health, mental health or mental well-being, spiritual health, your career, education, and work. Yeah. Um, relationship, family and relationship. What do you see? Where do you see yourself? And lastly, I think it's spiritual. No, wealth creation. I talk about family and relationship. Then wealth creation and investment. Where do you see? What do you see? So that you do. It's not like one person is busy every time chasing money, 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 money. And you're like, is that all you know? So start from there. Get a cardboard or a paper or some, just when the next date you're having, let that be what you do. When you get that paper to say, let's even let's even dream. Let's see where we're going. Let's see what plans we both have. From there, you might catch something like, What am I seeing? And you'll be surprised. So yeah. So lastly, the last thing I want to talk about is chemistry and intimacy. You might be wondering, chemistry and intimacy, what traits? It's important. Some people meet themselves, or maybe they were introduced, or they met online, or they went on a dating app, and there's no chemistry. You want to get married without chemistry? There must be that spark, that thing that is, oh God, this guy is making my head go like this. This girl is just turning me. Person comes into you, your heart skips a bit. They step out, you're like, oh God, I can't get my eyes off you. You're doing bigger. It must be there. I'm telling you, because it's not there. Yeah, I don't understand though what people are doing. If it's not there, there must be that emotional connection. There must be that physical attraction. It must be there. You must, even if the two of you are only praying, you must feel something. It's crucial because you would need it to maintain closeness in relation in your marriage. If it's not there, it's better to run. Honestly, important to what is that chemistry? Chemistry is key. You must feel that kiss. So beyond the friendship, where person is my friend, I like anybody else can be your friend. So if that connection is not there, is it every friend that you see on the road that you're going to be intimate with? No, there's intimacy is crucial in marriage. It must feel natural and fulfilling. You must know that I made a good choice. But I did not, I took my eyes to the market. I like what I see. I like how this person looks. I like, that emotional connection. When he calls me on the phone, I just want to be there. I don't want to drop the call. I just want to, when I see the text from my partner, I just love it. I just enjoy it, you know. So chemistry and intimacy is important. One of the things again that I love about the academy, the Start Your Married Academy, is that part of the courses actually talks about sexual compatibility, which to me was strange when I was looking at it. How is that possible? But that's when you start to discuss things. Everything is about being open and honest with yourselves to say, what do see? I'm not giving anything away because you need to make sure that you do the preparing for bliss. You take up the project. Any of the facilitators can take you, but if you are lucky, I can take you. But jokes aside, it's important. I said at the academy, we look at 3 core pillars: the flourishing you, flourishing us, and flourishing system. See those 3 things. Oh my God! Even for me, that I've been married for 18 years, it's transformed something in me. It's helped me in many ways to see marriage differently, to look forward to it. It's helped me to put that spark back. I have plans. I just enjoy some more. It's just helped me put structure. I saw something somewhere. They said, aha, okay, I'll relate it. Somebody said that your first, is it 100,000? 100,000 or something, is it 10,000? First thousand is done by yourself. Only you. You can easily get it. The next one, which is 100,000, can be achieved maybe when two or three of you come together or somebody helps you like that. And then guess what they said? If you really want to make a million and beyond and sustain it, it has to be done or built by systems. That's the way to look at this, the pillars that we have. It's true. One is chasing the 10,000, two, 10,000. Now imagine that when you now put systems in place for that 10,000, you just see that multiplication. That's when you call exponential growth. It's the same way. First is you coming, one good head. Then you now join the second good head, which is, yeah. And then by the time you now put systems in place to milk these two, that's exactly what we're doing. We're saying there's a flourishing you, there's a flourishing two of you, flourishing us, and then there are systems. It would your marriage will just be doing. It will just be on autopilot. Just be, when the airplane takes off from the ground and it just goes on auto. Imagine if planes don't have to go on autopilot. How would people do it? I've driven some cars recently that have this. What do they call that thing? It's similar to like autopilot, where you can even take your leg off. The car will go on its own. You take your left off the pedal and the car will go on its own. You set the speed limit, you just cruise control. That's the word. You just cruise. You're just there enjoying the music. You're not lifting a finger. That's the state you want your marriage to be in. On cruise control. Your marriage, your home, your children, all the systems are in place. You've talked about your financial management system, the domestic management system. You set everything in place and it's just working for your good. You will enjoy life because you have put the right things, the right tools, and everything will just you. That's when people say, why is your marriage just different? It's because you have put structure in place, you have put things, and you can also do the same. So I was talking about intimacy. So discuss the ones the levels to which you're comfortable or comfortable with to discuss. Just your fantasies. What are some boundaries? Because a lack of chemistry can lead to some kind of isolation. And that's when sometimes people are not able to be committed in relationship because that spark, that chemistry, that thing that makes you, feel like, oh, I love this person is no longer there. And you want to avoid that. Hmm? Compatibility is key. For sexual compatibility is key because some people might be adventurous when it comes to intimacy. While the other person might just be basic, is what I know that I like. It's important to look out for those things, discuss them, and see. So I'm going to summarize because our time is nearly up. There are five things or five key areas I said you should look out for. I talked about personal harmony. I talked about shared values and beliefs. I talked about communication. That you must communicate effectively. Both of you must communicate well. And friendship. Communication and friendship is key that you should look out for. How open, how honest are you? Both of you. Then we talked about compatibility of long in vision and in your long-term goals and in your legacy. And then lastly, we talked about chemistry and intimacy, emotional, physical, discussing the closeness. Those are the key traits I believe you should watch out for to know this person, are they ready or not? Aside from a number of other ones, but these ones I've talked about would help you because they're like the pillars or the foundation or the core. Now, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Marriage doesn't just reveal who your partner is, it also reveals who both of you are together. It doesn't just reveal who your partner is, it reveals who the two of you are when you're together. So, are you ready for it? Are you ready for that thing that's going to be revealed? Because when both of you were individuals, saying separately or just doing your own things, it was different. Now, the union and the coming together of both of you, it will reveal who you both are together. So, are you ready? Then, apart from you saying that what traits to look out for, ask yourself this honest question. You yourself, how ready are you? How prepared? Because it's a two-way street. How ready are you yourself? Feel free to send in some questions or share your thoughts, comments in the section because I'm rounding up now. But if there's anything I want to tell you, if you're about to get married, congratulations. If you've not found a partner, congratulations. If you've not started dating, congratulations. If you started dating, congratulations. You know why I'm telling you congratulations? The Start Your Married Right Academy is built something that will help many generations to come. So here's your chance. It's a very big opportunity you want to take because a lot of people were looking for this opportunity, they didn't get it. People just dabbled into marriage and jumped in without even thinking of what will happen. So you have a chance to do it, get it right. Start your marriage right. You have an opportunity now. Many people didn't get a chance because at the end of the day, they divorce and everything. And honestly, if you're listening to me and that's been your journey, you definitely know it's not something that you now have to beat yourself too hard for it. There's always a chance to start afresh. And by starting afresh, this is your chance to do it right this time around. Get yourself, get your partner. Don't go into a relationship that, you're not sure. You've seen those traits. You can see somebody getting up from downfall and beating the conductor, and you're there thinking, no, he loves me. He's going to change it for me. Um, it's your chance, your opportunity to get it right. If there's anything I always tell myself, I wish I'd come in contact with these things before I got married. As in, do a proper professional marital. I always tell myself because I do have a good home, I do have a good marriage, but it would have prepared me a lot more, especially the earlier years. Some of the things I went through, some of the struggles, all of the headaches and the scattering of things I did. I would have saved myself all that if I'd started right. If I, but it's never too late. We were just maneuvering and it was just because a lot of things held us. Like I said, some of those core pillars were there for us. So the friendship and they were the things that helped us. But now with this information I have, I've harmed myself with enough that I now walk with my shoulder. I'm like, you know what? It can only get better. Marriage is meant to be like fine wine. It gets better with age. And that's the way it should be. It is sweet and it's fun, it's interesting if you get it right and you continue to build. It is when you have a marriage that is blissful. I mean, it has this way of impacting on every area of your life, from your health to your mental wellness, even your spiritual. You will be high up in the heaven. You will be connecting to the right places. Think about your wealth creation. If if both of you are aligned, you'll be pushing each other to say, you know what, you want to achieve, your career will work, your everything around. You just find out that you're just feeling that sense of fulfillment and that you are happy with purpose and you're driven. So take time to assess your own readiness as well. Apart from your partner, be truthful, be open, be honest with yourself because you're the only one that can do it for yourself. Make sure that you're ready based on these 5 things I've said. On that note, it's a good night from me from here, and make sure that you send a message to the Start Your Marriage Right Academy or put a comment in there. Let's see, let's connect with you. If you're interested in any of the courses, you want to see the website, just go there and go and peep. And even if it's not you, for a friend, or that friend, or the other friend, or the other person that you guys were gisting about, that you know that they're married, or the person that wants to get married, that you know that the person wants to marry. So do that for yourself and do that for others. And it might just be that you are also helping to save humanity. So it's good night for me, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.